because these are some situations in which you should be knowing how and when to use which particular function, because in many cases you are going to face these situations in which you have to calculate or in which you have to get the answers. Basically, what answers? I'm just providing you the question, that is why I'm taking saying answers. But in most of the situations you'll get the data, and for the data you need the solution, you need the particular analysis. For analyzing the data, you need to implement these uh, formulas to get the suitable data. Okay, so for that purpose only logical functions are used. Now here there is a basically it is fill the blank cell with proper formula. So basically here you can see that we have a database sheet. Here's the database. So within this database, we need to fill the rebate and rate and rebate, both the things. Now the rate and rebate we need to fill on the basis of this, scenario. This we have the rate table, that these are the products and these will be the rates, and this is the table on which on the basis of that we need to provide the rebate. So here we need to provide formula. So how are we going to get the rates and how are we going to get the formulas? No, sorry, rebate. So now first we'll be getting the rates. So there are two ways. Basically, there are two ways. Okay, there is always an easier way. Sorry, there is always a way to do the task like manually, right? It's not that you always need to implement formula or something, that kind of thing. But what is that? That is a time-taking process. Okay. Now, what you can do is let me just show you the way you can put the rate without even implementing the logical function. First thing, what I did, I just selected the complete data and provided the filter. Okay, by Alt-AT. It provides the filter here. Now what I'll do, I can see that there are three products only. So there are three products only. And so what I'll do, I'll just provide the filter on this product. First, I'll take the HP laser printer. I'll select it. I'll press OK. Now, here you can see that for HP laser printer, what is the price? This is the rate, correct? So what I'll do, from here, I'll select it till the end and I'll paste this particular. Similarly, you can do for the other two as well. We'll come to here. It is monitor. So for monitor you have selected, and now if there are three, so it is very easy for you to implement the filter and then type the rate, correct? Let's say there are 30 products, then how would you be able to put the rate? So this is the easiest way. This is the easiest way of providing the rate. But here, as we know the Excel sheet and we know how to implement the data, so what we are going to use, we are going to use logical function. In that, whenever we use logical function, now you can go through a condition that if the product is motherboard, then you will provide this rate. If the product is monitor, then you are going to provide 5500. If your product is HP laser printer, then you are going to provide 10,680. Now you have three results. Okay, three results. So as per the nested if rule, you can use what? 3 minus 1. That is, sorry, 3 minus 1. That is, if there are three results and one if is going to have two results, so it means for here you can use two ifs, right? So in this particular situation, you are supposed to use nested if. So here what you will do is equal to if my product, this is equal to motherboard. I have provided first condition that my product is equal to motherboard, then my price should be this, correct? And here when you'll be selecting this, so please keep in mind that you are fixing the cell, you are freezing the cell. Otherwise what will happen, whenever you drag the formula, this cell will also get dragged. So what I did, I just put a condition that my product should be equal to motherboard, then my answer should be, then my rate should be 2500. Similarly, I'll provide if again my product is E2 is equal to E3. So in E3 there is monitor. Okay, so if there is monitor, so what I'll do, then the answer should be for monitor, this is the price, right? And when let's say we have only 3 products, so if it is neither motherboard nor monitor, so the only third option we have left with HP laser printer. So if both of these product doesn't match, then it must be the third product, and the answer should be 10,680. So this is the answer. First we have closed this and then this. So this is the formula. When you have implemented this and you have dragged it, so you get the, so this is the way we used to provide this formula. Basically, here what I did, first I figured out that how many answers are there. Okay, so I figured out there are 3 answers. So as per the nested if rule, we need to implement at least 2 ifs, right? Because the second one, the last if, always have both two options, yes or no. So that is why I implemented 2 ifs. In the first if, I have provided the condition that my product should be equal to this. So I have selected a cell and I have fixed it. Why I have fixed it? Because in that condition here, in every cell, whenever I'll be dragging now, so this particular product should change, but this product, whatever I have selected, should not change, because this like as you will be dragging this here also, so it is comparing this E5, the product column, with the E2, this value, the motherboard. Here also he is comparing E5 with the product monitor, that is E3. Okay, that is why I have fixed E3 and E5, so that whenever we are dragging this particular formula, so this E3 and E5 will, sorry, this E2 and E3 won't change. Okay, and our D12, D13 and D11 also doesn't change, just because if it will change, so it will get dragged and our rate will be moving downward. Okay, so we'll get wrong answers. Now coming to the second scenario, we need to provide rebate. Now rebate has a bit complicated scenario. Like there are multiple options, there are multiple answers, and along with that there are multiple conditions as well. So what I'll do to make it a bit easier, let's copy this and paste it here so that we can see it. So this is the condition we need to implement. So what I will do, coming to the first condition, there are 2 conditions. First one is motherboard, the second one is more than 100. Quantity is more than 100, and the first one is the product should be motherboard. Now what you see, that you need to implement both the options. You need to implement both the options, means it should be motherboard and the quantity should be more than 100, right? So for implementing this formula, first you need to select if, and along with that if you need to implement and, because there are 2 options and both the options need to be implemented, then only they are going to provide 8% of the price. Okay, so here are basically, here are you, if you'll go through this condition again, you have 3 options, 3 answers. So 3 answers means you are going to use 2 if. Now coming to 2 if, you need to have 2 conditions. This is the first condition, this is the second condition. This is in first condition also, there are 2 logic you need to implement together. So that is why first you will start is equal to if. Now there are 2 logics. First one is logic is related to product, and the second logic is related to quantity. So that is why you will implement and, because you need to implement both the logics together. So the first logic is the product is equal to motherboard. Okay, the product is equal to motherboard. The second logic is your quantity should be greater than 100. It is saying that your quantity should be more than 100. So you have written it. You have provided both the logics right now. Now, if both the logics are implemented, then what should be the answer? The answer should be 8% of the rebate. So now it should be 8% of your rate, correct? So rate I have selected, rather than selecting rate, I have selected G2, because in the G column only there is the rate, correct? Now comma, again coming to this function. So now we have 2 conditions two logics. One is our product and the another is related to quantity. So now I'll provide if. Again, I need to implement two conditions. So if and my product is equal to monitor and my quantity, the quantity is more than 50. This is the conditions. You have implemented both the logics. Now the answer should be this particular G2 into 5%. Correct? And let's say if any of the condition is not implemented, then what would be the answer? Then 2% of my price. So I'll just go to rate and into 2%. I'll close this. I'll close the other one. Entered here. This is the way. So now this is the answer. Now here you can see that there is one formula, right? So formula is quantity into rate minus discount. So basically what you can do, if it is a discount, then what you can do, you can just multiply everything by quantity, right? If there is nothing mentioned, then it's fine that you have got the rebate. But if it will be mentioned that the rebate should be per unit, if the rebate should be this amount, then it is fine. And if the rebate should be per unit, then you should be here getting some other formula, that is like G2 minus H2 into F2, right? If the rebate would be per unit. Like let's say if the 50 rupees is the total rebate you are getting on your total amount, so then it's fine. This particular formula is fine. But if it would be like this, that 50 rupees you are getting the rebate on per unit, it means you will be getting a discount of 50 rupees into 15 quantities. That is what I am trying to say. That then you need to change the formula mentioned in this. So it totally depends on the condition, that what is the actual condition you are facing. So this is how you can solve the logical functions. Now what I'll do, I'll just share this solved sheet with you in the group so that you can go through the formula. Right now, is there any doubt?